Hey guys, it's been a while since I've busted out some new features in our viewer and different ways to look at the data. I've been so focused on making maps that I haven't put out any new interactive tools for everyone, so I thought I'd do that. And what I've created here is a 3D viewer with some nice new features, a bunch of new tools, and some really cool stuff that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So let's dive in. I'll show you what all the buttons do and all the bells and whistles. So let's check it out. First thing on the left here, we've got the zoom in and zoom out buttons. We can pan. That little triangle lets you know which button you've got selected. So we're going to pan around the world, and then we're going to rotate. You can get back to true north, go back to your default extent, and find yourself in the map here by clicking that button. On the right is how you really interact and measure add different features with the map and sightings and find information and turn on and off your layers, all those kinds of things. So we're going to go through that. But first, I'm going to explore a really cool place called Stanislaus National Forest, right? Just type whatever you want to find in here, and it'll find it by standard US geocoding is how we're going to do the search. So it just has a nice database, and we can keep click and zoom in, and it'll zoom in a little further and further till we're happy. And I feel like Bob Ross narrating a painting. Just maps really relax me. So if you're listening to this, I hope you know who Bob Ross is. Otherwise, it means I'm pretty old. So uh, Strawberry National Forest, right? In Stanislaus National Forest. We're going to look at this cluster around Pinecrest Lake. Cool. So we can click just like you normally would. Bit of a different view. You can still get to the sightings, read about them, just like you would in my other app that I've created for everyone. But this is where it departs from 2D and gets into the 3D world. So we're going to rotate and start to look at the different elevations and features in this area and how the sightings really start to look in 3D. So we're going to click this first one just so you can see. You can still click when you're rotated in 3D. And then we're going to go through some of my new tools that I'm going to provide for you guys, which I think are really cool. So the first one is the measure tool. And when the crosshair appears, you can start to measure. So we're going to measure how far this sighting way off in the distance is all the way to this sighting here. And it gives you nice measurements here, right? So we're going to look at the direct is 13.87 kilometers. I apologize. I have an international audience, so I try to do things in kilometers. Um, we'll work on getting it in feet and kilometers, but that's for another day. Uh, Horizontal distance, 13.85. And then vertical is 868.15 meters. We can change it here, I guess. The default, however, is set to metric. So imperial, boom, 8.62 miles, horizontal 8.6, and vertical is 2848.25 feet. So really cool feature. You can delete that and do another measurement if you want. How far is this one over here? Oh, reminder, you've got to have the crosshair visible before you can measure. Sound effects included. We're going to look at imperial, half a mile, direct, and a vertical gain of 98 feet, right? So let's close that, and we're going to look at some area, all right? So let's zoom out a little. We're going to make an impromptu analysis here. Let everything draw. Okay. Oh, we're going to zoom out again. Make sure everything's drawing. Okay. See these ones here? We're going to do an impromptu analysis of the area, perhaps, that this Bigfoot is covering. So when the crosshairs appear, you can just simply connect the dots in 3D and in 2D. This works. And we're going to start to look at the full extent of this Bigfoot's area. And the cool thing is, it gives us a coverage that we can see from up above. What does it look like? Whoa, that's how much area that covers. Let's change it to imperial. 18 square miles. When we zoom in, we can start to look at the features that are included in that and what the terrain really looks like. That's pretty neat. So you can see all the features included in that area from a lot of different views. We're going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to show you another tool. Going down the list, we've got your layers. You can turn layers on and off, like I was showing you before. You can turn the stream gauges off if you like. I have current wildfires on there. I'm going to turn them off just until a little later. Then I'm going to look at, you can find out about the map. Just tells you a little bit about it. You can search. We've already used that. Legend, just by clicking the hamburger menu there. 3 lines as a hamburger menu. I'm not just hungry. You can share. You can even embed this map if you like. I might turn that off. We'll see. And then you can actually toggle a base map. So I'm going to toggle onto topography, topographical map, and now you can really see some cool stuff. You can see 3D topo lines. Who would have thought? I think it's pretty awesome, right? Look at that. Toggle back to my Firefly background, and voila, we are cooking with gas. All right, so now one more cool feature is actually 3 more really. We can do an inset map, right, and zoom in to see where we are in the world when we're going ahead and traveling around. So if we want to see what state we're in, and we're going to start panning and exploring, we don't really have to get out of 3D to know where we are. You can zoom in and out there, right? That's pretty cool. So you can really stay in 3D and explore the environment, but keep a handle on where you are in our inset map. And the cool thing is we can also stack this. So now we have a stacked view. You can zoom in over here, and you can kind of do 2D and 3D at the same time. Really cool. You can also measure all that kind of stuff up here, right? You can't measure in the inset, but you can still use all the tools that you've got up in the top map. I'm going to drop this back down to an inset, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it by clicking the arrows. And the next thing we're going to do is zoom back, find another sighting to compare. And okay, cool. We're going to do a comparison between, let's see, there's a whole group there. Okay. Now be patient because the rendering does take some time. So if your sightings don't appear, just kind of play with the map a little. 3D is a lot for doing stuff over the web. So just be patient, but the sightings are all there, I can assure you. We're going to do an elevation profile now. Check this out. When the crosshairs are there, now we can do an elevation profile between 2 sightings. Check that out. And you can travel along the line. So we're going to rotate, and we're going to look at that elevation profile. And we're going to travel and get the elevation along that entire line. How cool is that? This is useful for all kinds of analysis. So we can go ahead and delete. You don't have to do it between sightings. You can do elevation profiles really for anything in the map. This is just a really, really cool tool. And then we're also going to be able to have a coordinate tool, right? So we can add a conversion and get stuff in degrees, minutes, seconds, right, while we're in the map. You can add as many conversions as you want. You can do UTM, which is Universal Transverse Mercator. There's a New York accent for you. This is degrees, minutes, seconds. So we can really, we're in 11S is the UTM zone, right? For those of you mappers out there. So we're going to go ahead and close that, and those are our extra tools over here. So we've hit everything in this map. And if you're in a place and you just want to get back to the default, maybe you've explored here long enough, just hit your home button and it will zoom you all the way back out to home. And now I've simplified the way that the points draw just so the map isn't so cluttered. You have to zoom in to see more, and the points will redraw and adjust as you zoom in closer and closer. Otherwise, the whole map was just covered up. It didn't look very good. So I apologize if you want to see all the sightings, you know, cluttering the map up. It was a design choice. So let me know what you think in the comments. But I think, like you can see how messy it would be when it briefly adjusts. So that's what we've got. This is Bigfoot World, Bigfoot Mapping Project 3D Viewer. Lots of new tools, really made for the intrepid explorer who's going to do a lot of work from their PC and might not have GIS software. Let me know what you think. I hope it brings some value to you guys. And I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought I'd share this while I was debuting a new tool, and I'm excited to bring it to you. I couldn't do it without your continued support. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's had me on their podcast and listened and had nice compliments and suggestions. I try to take them to heart and do what I can. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions for future stuff, please let me know. Reach out on email, scott@bigfootmap.com, or on Instagram, Bigfoot Mapping Project, or leave the comments here on YouTube. Thank you. Have a great day.